Okay, our goal is to revise. Of course, before you revise, you have to edit. So our goal is to edit and revise our hatchet paper. And to do that, it's a two-step process. The first thing I want you to be able to do is to learn how to uh, grade a paper using the rubric that I've created. And so your first goal is going to be to edit a paper I've uploaded called the Hatchet Essay Outline. And it's not perfect. It has a lot of different mistakes in it. So I'm going to show you how to edit it. And then hopefully by the time you're done grading this example hatchet essay, you will understand the expectations for your paper. You'll understand the rubric that I have very well, and you can then grade your paper and hopefully see the grade that it would get. So we're going to start off, and what you need to do is you need to come down to the second link that says Hatchet Essay Outline. You need to click it, and then you need to go back and you need to click the Essay Rubric 2015. It's the first rubric that I have posted. Once you get this rubric opened up, you need to do two things. You're going to basically make two copies. You're going to make a copy for the example paper that you're going to grade, and then you're going to make a copy for the one you're going to use to grade your own paper. So you can see right here, I come here and I write make a copy. So I'm going to copy, I'm going to write my name, a dash, and so it says my name dash copy of essay rubric 2015. I hit OK. So now I have one copy of the rubric. Then I'm going to copy my copies, so to speak. So I'm going to come down to my copy and I'm going to make a copy. And this copy, if I can get it ready, this copy is going to be called Practice Grading. Okay, using rubric and then dash your name. So you can see the rubric that I'm using right here. So your rubric is going to be out of 20 points. And the way that I came up with that is I divided your paper into 4 parts. You have the focus of your paper, which is going to be your introduction and conclusion. The body, which are the 3 paragraphs that make up the body of your essay. You're going to be graded on the quality of your evidence, the quality of your justification, and then your language and mechanics. That's basically how the grammar, punctuation, spelling, capitalization is. But what I'm going to model for you is how to grade the example essay using the skill on the focus skill, which is the introduction and the conclusion. So what I'm doing here is, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at what a proficient focus would be. There are 4 bullet points. A proficient focus, in other words, a proficient introduction and conclusion, is going to be something that has a clear argument, has a creative hook, a preview, and then the argument lists the claims it lists the argument in the list of claims. That's also known as your review in your conclusion and the preview in your introduction. They're worded differently. So if all of those are met, I would score it a 4. So now I'm going to go to the hatchet essay outline. The introduction says this. In the novel Hatchet by Gary Paulson, the protagonist, Brian Robson, learned how being alone in the wilderness can lead to major changes. The wilderness made Brian more one with nature, humble, and resilient. So that's my intro. My conclusion says, in the end, Brian Robson learned how being alone in the wilderness can lead to major changes. The wilderness made Brian more one with nature, humble, and resilient. So I know immediately when I read that it's missing two important elements. You remember, you're supposed to have three elements in your introduction: a grabber, an argument, and a preview. You're also supposed to have three elements in your conclusion: a restated argument, a restated list of claims, which I called the review, and the zinger. There is no hook or grabber, and there is no zinger in this. Secondly, I notice that the words for my argument and my list of claims are worded exactly the same. Notice my preview, for example. The wilderness made Brian more one with nature, humble, and resilient. Well, look at my review. The wilderness made Brian more one with nature, humble, and resilient. As you can see, there's no variety. It's repetitive, so it's worded the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to my guideline here, and I notice that, yes, I have a clear argument, but I have no hook. Yes, I have a preview, but my arguments list the claims and the conclusion and the argument exactly the same. So it can't be a 4. Maybe it's a 3. My argument is clear, and I have a preview, but notice that it says argument and list of claims worded differently in intro and conclusion. That's the problem. They're not worded differently. So now I come to my 2. Did I score a 2? Is my argument unclear? Well, it's not. I had a clear argument. Do I have 2 of 3 of the elements in the intro and in the conclusion listed? And the answer to that is yes. In both the intro and conclusion, I do have an argument and a list of claims. So I do have that. So if you notice, it's not so bad that it would be a 2 because the argument's clear. But because the arguments and the list of claims are worded exactly the same, it can't be a 3. So I'm going to give it a 2.5. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you why I gave it a 2.5 in my comments. Argument is clear. 2 of 3 elements are in intro and conclusion, but notice this: arguments and list of claims are worded differently. So now I have my justification for why I got a 2.5 on this. You need to do the exact same process that I just did on the body, evidence, justification, and the mechanics, and give it a total score. By the end of the day, you need to at least have a score for the Hatchet essay. When you're done with that, you need to grade your own essay. Also, don't forget to share with me your Hatchet essay.